So Brian's question, if everybody can see it, says, do you have a solid explanation of what constitutes CUI? Is it only marked data? What data created internally constitutes CUI? And an org mark CUI if they think it is CUI. So basically, CUI, for those who aren't familiar, is controlled unclassified information, and it's information that is produced through the contract that you have with the federal government that isn't considered classified. And there's, to answer the first part of it, is there a solid explanation of what constitutes it? The answer to that is unfortunately no. There's really no solid explanation of it. You can go to the National Archives, and they have a piece of their site where you can look up to see if you fall into a CUI category. But other than that, you kind of have to rely on your contracting officer to help you determine whether or not you've got CUI. So that should be spelled out in the contract. And if it's not, you probably should demand it to say, hey, is this considered CUI or not? And do we need to protect it? Because it is a potential gotcha. But just to give you some examples, like it could be personally identifiable information, just employee info could be considered it. It could be other sensitive information. It could be technical diagrams. For example, we work with some folks that make propellers for submarines. So, that type of info is considered CUI as well. So it's something that not necessarily is going to do a whole lot of harm if it gets into the wrong hands, but at the same time, you don't want it in the hands of the folks that don't need to see it as part of the contract. So I hope that helps a little bit. My best answer is to check the archives, National Archives, to see if it does fall into CUI. And again, and if not, then you should contact your contracting officer for some help. And the other part of the question was, should you start to safeguard it if you think you've got it? If you think you have CUI, then yes. Definitely start to safeguard that, because worst case scenario is later on you just find out that it's not in scope and you're still doing what you should do anyway to protect data. It's a good idea. So I hope that answers that question for you.